you've decided that you want to watch The Craft Legacy. The Craft Legacy had a release date of, well, October 28th, 2020. And let's just get some of the formalities out of the way here. I'll quickly pull up the IMDb. The Craft Legacy was directed by Zoe Lister-Jones and stars Cailee Spaeny, Zoey Luna, Gideon Adlon, Lovie Simone, David Duchovny, Michelle Monaghan, and Nicholas Galitzine. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's also get the elephant out of the room now, shall we? This movie was not intended for a person like me. The audience was not me, right? This was meant for a younger crowd, but that doesn't mean that I can't have some value out of it. I can't get some kind of enjoyment out of it. Now, just looking at the IMDb here, the popularity is going up, but the ratings are not so good for this. So why is that? Well, let's talk about this as we quickly go through it. This is one of those movies that's kind of like, I like that, what I'm seeing, but I'm not too sure. So here's my little reaction as to what happens when I was watching it. Here's my quick review in reactions. Ooh. Ooh. And then that's it, right? So you saw that there was some, it started off kind of, well, as you would predict, that people are expecting kind of this as a reboot, but it's actually kind of a sequel. And so they go through some of the same things that the Craft 1996 film had, some of the same story beats, and you're like, oh, okay, I recognize that, I like that. And it just happens a little too quick, so you're kind of like, I don't know if I really like that. And for some people, they really don't like that. But I did like how the girls came together, and they do have good chemistry together, all four girls. I like their dynamic. But basically, when they come to live with this new father figure and their sons, that's where it does sort of get a little bit off the rails. But then there's a scene about halfway through this where I was kind of like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And then the tone, because the tone changed. And it all had to do with the one actor who is Nicholas Galitzine. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Am I? If I'm not, I'm sorry. Let's just take a look at his IMDb. Okay, so he's only done 10 projects or so. But he has a scene in there where, let's just take a look online. Yeah. I'm sure that there's a lot there that girls will like. Maybe some guys too. Anyway, he has a scene in there where he actually gets to show some acting. And that's where, for me, remember in my little mini reaction, I was kind of like, That's where I was like, okay, well, I like what I'm seeing. That's cool. They need to continue on with that. They need to press the buttons. And as things went into the third act for this movie, it was kind of like, a bit hokey, and that's where I feel like a lot of people are going to fall off in this movie, where they'll be just like, it's a bit cheesy. As far as the witchcraft stuff, I know that it's not real, guys, like the actual spells and stuff, because they don't want to actually infringe upon actual real witches and their practices. It's definitely inspired by all of that stuff, but I can see that this will have an influence over a certain type of growth in somebody. Overall, though, at the end, they do have a reveal that this is indeed a sequel, because it does take place in the same universe as the first Craft movie. I'm not going to spoil exactly how, but that's where I was kind of like, well, this could be setting up for a trilogy, and I kind of like that. I like that. But again, it took us a little while of a roller coaster to get there, and some people may not appreciate that roller coaster. As I said, the cast does work well, and there are things about the house that they live in with David Duchovny that I wish that they expanded on more, and they made it a little bit more darker and sinister, and really got that angle of it. If they really took it down that road, instead of kind of the campiness that we got towards the end, then I think a lot of people would have liked it a lot more. Obviously, let's go back to the four girls again. As I said, I really like them. The Cailee Spaeny, I don't know too much of her work. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the movies that she was in. I never saw Bad Times at the Old Royale. Oh, I did see Pacific Rim Uprising, which was an atrocious film. I chose to kind of almost forget that one. But she was good as the lead character. I felt like she did as Lily. She did a very, very good job. But for me, the one standout of all four of them is not the one that you may be thinking. It was Frankie. Gideon Adlon. She played Frankie. I don't know. There was just something about her performance. She maybe got the most to do out of reaction-wise, or at least she was doing the best to convey some of her reactions. She's not been in that many projects as well. Okay, she was in The Mustang. I'm going to go back and watch that one. But take a look at her, Gideon Adlon. Keep your eye on her, because I think she's got some good things coming down the pipe that'll hopefully get more people going, oh, I want to see more from her, because I like that aspect. But overall, the Craft Legacy, let's wrap this up. I would have to give this movie, The Craft Legacy, a very generous 6.5 out of 10, which is just a little below average. It's I consider 7 out of 10 an average film. 5 is just like barely there, but it's better than that. It's better than barely there, because I said there are things in there that you will like. I like the chemistry between the girls, and there's a couple things in there that do make you go, I like that. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So The Craft Legacy, 6.5 out of 10. Could be a 7, maybe could be a 7, but 6.5. All right, that's it. Let's continue on with some more movie news.